Thundarr the Barbarian aired for 2 seasons and interestingly predates the release of the film Conan the Barbarian. Though as discussed with that film, the character of Conan was undergoing a renaissance and thus was still a hot commodity. Steve Gerber, creator of Howard the Duck, created this series, and it's especially notable because Howard's first appearance was in Adventure into Fear number 19, where he first appeared alongside a barbarian named Korek, who wielded a sword with an energy field around the blade, and soon partnered up with Jennifer Kale, who came to discover her sorceress abilities. The cover of Korek's last appearance, barring a flashback, shows his red costume as more of a brown in tone, making Korek look even more like the titular character of Thundarr the Barbarian. Of course, Korek was intended to be a parody of the archetype, but Gerber was a multi-dimensional creative. Howard the Duck wasn't cartoonish, after all, it was subversive. Satire often uses silly things to discuss serious points. Thundarr the Barbarian came at a time when Gerber was working on a lawsuit against Marvel for control of Howard the Duck, so he was incentivized not to suggest any actual connection between his cartoon and his comic book creations. Now, obviously this isn't solid gold fact, but it seems likely the use of Korek and Jennifer in his creative post-apocalyptic setting was not a coincidence. Post-apocalyptic? Oh yes. Near the end of the 20th century, a runaway planet flies too close to us, cracking the moon in half and causing massive devastation to the world that annihilates civilization on a global scale. 2,000 years later, in the ruins, we have, quote, a world of savagery, super science, and sorcery. Partnered with Thundarr at the insistence of the studio was a Chewbacca-like character, so Gerber created Ookla the Mock. Ookla was named by Gerber's friend, who pronounced UCLA as if it were a word. So we begin Mindok the Mind Menace, which takes us, as usual, to the remains of a modern-day place. In this case, Cape Canaveral. You, think it's big enough there, pal? I don't know what this guy's hauling around in there, but odds are he's someone who needs to at least consider downsizing. In the possession sense, not in the head count sense, because a wizard does need minions after all. In this case, to send into the domain of the Ice People. But Thundarr, Ookla, and Princess Ariel are here to put a stop to this. And Thundarr wastes no time.
No! You can't just rush in! Outvoted again.
Yeah, the foundation of this government is the ass beating, Ariel.
The sign, what does it mean?
They did experiments here to test people for travel in space.
Space? What is space?
It's where no one can hear you scream, Thundarr, though Ookla might have a shot. The minions attack the trio, but Thundarr whips out the old sun sword, it's kind of a laser sword, and gets back to the business of government. Soon it's just the head flunky and them.
But now you face General Zua, servant of mighty wizard Mindok. Now you meet your end.
Everyone's the main character in their own story, but this guy's diluted on the scale of his.
You will never hold your sword again, Barbarian.
Have I mentioned I serve evil? He loses his staff and runs off, and Ariel tosses the rest out with a twister. In a snit, the general uses the war machine to collapse the entrance and trap the trio inside, even though that traps the Ice People inside with them. As you might guess, the Ice People are actually 3 cryogenically frozen researchers from before the Great Catastrophe. Thundarr lets them out. Well, they don't call him Thundarr the Tech Manual Reader, do they? Fortunately, they don't bubble away or anything, though one passes out at the sight of Ookla, but she's not the only one in for a shock. The war machine returns to the lair of Mindok, and rather than just taking this development in stride, he has them all shrunk down and trapped in a crystal ball. He's going to go collect the Ice People personally, arriving to shoot teleportation lightning at them. Well, Thundarr's not letting that go, crafting a makeshift raft out of a capsule.
I need you 3 for your own protection. If I hadn't saved you from Thundarr,
He seemed friendly enough.
he's a barbarian.
If he sounds familiar, this is Alan Oppenheimer, who voiced, among other characters, Skeletor. He brought them here because he wants what all wizards want, a powerful robot body. To rescue the scientists, our heroes must face
Fire whale!
Think about the life Thundarr leads, that he doesn't know space, but he instantly recognizes a whale with a flamethrower mounted to its blowhole. They face not one, but 4 of these fire whales. Looks like Arrow is about to get swallowed. Bad news, he can't pull the Geppetto trick if there's already fire inside of the whale. Fortunately, Thundarr has the far simpler answer of just repeatedly stabbing it in the mouth. That's encouragement enough to let them go. As for Ookla, he just headbutts the one attacking him. I like his moxie. They drag the dazed Mock to shore, to Mindok's annoyance.
You will have my robot body completed tonight?
Dude, do they look like they're from Japan? They need more than an afternoon to build a robot. Mindok uses his mind powers on them to make them do it anyway, while our heroes slip inside, and Ookla finds the flunkies still trapped in the crystal ball. Thundarr condemns this treatment, only for them to wind up in a crystal themselves, so he's consistent on his crystal ball prison views. Something about this makes me think of that John Hamm vignette from Black Mirror. We now learn Mindok's deal. He's actually from before the Great Catastrophe. A scientist too badly wounded for healing, but his brain lived on thanks to this life support system for 2,000 years. Plenty of time to learn sorcery.
Let the word go on. From this day forward, Mindok rules the earth.
Dude, you seen the state of this place? You can have it. Hell, maybe a 2,000-year-old dictator is just what we need to get some infrastructure built around here. I mean, he built that battle wagon after all. Well, let's just hear Mindok's 5-year plan before we dismiss him out of hand. Thundarr coordinates them to all strike the same spot at once and break free, also releasing the scientists from Mindok's grip. They chase him down while he's off conquering some ruins, and together get inside to confront him. Mindok goes all in on the physicality, the indulgence of not having had a body for 2,000 years. He doesn't use any of the sorcery, which allows Thundarr to chop up his robot body with the Sun Sword. It falls onto the controls and heads for orbit, but our heroes escape. And the scientists, they say they'll work to try and help the people in the nearby city, leaving our heroes free to head off and do good elsewhere. I'm guessing that won't include freeing the mooks in that other crystal, though. Sucks to be them. I love the idea of this in every way. If they ever did a reimagining of this series, Mindok should be the central antagonist. My personal theory about this world is that besides the gravitational effects of its nearby passing, that rogue planet sprayed the Earth with debris like in A Quiet Place, containing exotic elements that caused mutations and the means to perform what appears to be sorcery now. Mindok, having 2,000 years to master that power, then makes him a powerful antagonist, being versed in science and now magic as well. He brings this towards the Conan film, which again came out after this show, remember, where the cunning of the barbarian is pitted against the force of manipulative intellect and civilization. Ruling the world makes Mindok the encroaching force against the freedom that the barbarian represents, the former using it towards domination while the latter towards liberation. Man, I love this stuff. Why, of all the crap that gets redone, this thing, bursting with potential, is left in history? I'll never know. Anyway, that's not the only episode we're going to be looking at. In our next outing, we'll see Ookla's people in Treasure of the Mocks.